We're going to open up a brief statement with Coach, and then we'll take some questions after that.
I really appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate our fans coming out tonight. A lot of positive things about tonight's game. Obviously, I think the stat that sticks out the most to me is our assist to turnover. I think, really just trying to figure out, how to put the pieces together, and really come together as a team. I think, we got so many new players and so many different rotations that we're looking at, and I think anytime a coach sees that kind of assist to turnover ratio, you got to be pretty pleased. I thought we passed up some good shots for great shots, and seemed like we're a lot more willing to make that extra pass tonight, which I think is huge. So that's building trust amongst the players in that locker room. Needed to close out that fourth quarter better, and it might seem silly, but just the importance of playing a 40-minute game in every possession, and kind of got a little ragged there in that fourth quarter and gave up some offensive rebounds that we weren't real pleased with. But I am glad that we were able to go so deep into our bench. I thought, a lot of players had really good games for us. I think, to see London play, just with so much passion and energy out there as a freshman, it was great for her. I thought Tilly had some really good minutes. I thought DB made the most of her minutes, and so it was great to see some of those young ladies that don't get to play as much and see them make the most out of their minutes. Proud of our team. We know it's one game, and we just hopefully can build on it, and in less than 48 hours be ready to go.
Questions?
Coach, it's probably too simplistic to say. I think you kind of alluded it to there, that all that was wrong is now right, but is this a sustainable level of play? I mean, these were the reigning WNIT champions. Is this a sustainable level of play for your team? So those are what you think it can be?
I think this team has a really high ceiling. I think we're still figuring out how do we put them in a position offensively to play to their strengths and, continue to share the ball. I think that's just huge for our team, is just we've got a lot of players that have the ability to score and just to kind of surrender that for we over me. And I think if they can do that, they got a chance to do something pretty fun this year. But we know we got work to do. I mean, we missed some box outs tonight, and, we've got to be able to consistently play with 13 or less turnovers. We did a much better job of that tonight. I thought we did a better job getting out in transition tonight. So a lot of positive things, but consistency is key. And so, it's one game, and let's see if we can't learn and grow and build on it for Friday.
Coach, when I asked you about it on Friday, you said that this offense was still not at the stage that you wanted to see put up 112 tonight. Do you think that was more a schematic fix or just a chemistry issue from the things that or chemistry kind of connectivity that we saw from Friday?
I think it's a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. I don't think you can just put it in one pot. I think, again, you've got 6 new players, and you've got returning players, and you've got 2 young ladies that didn't play last year, and so there's just a lot of newness to what we're trying to do, and we've tweaked our offense, and so and then we had a lot of games back to back to back, and so it was hard to really make a lot of adjustments in a short period of time. But we're still evolving in that area. How do we put our players in the best position for them and their skill set? And I think as players just settle into more of their role and understand, and trust that ball's going to stay hot and keep moving, and I think that's just going to help us. So I think it's a work in progress, as it should be this early in the season.
Coach, you mentioned the we over me mentality. Obviously tonight the rotations were a little bit different due to the score, but you had 5 double-digit scores. How does the shot balance and diet kind of change on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, I think, to be a really, really good offensive team, if you can have 3 to 4 to 5 players in double digits, you're doing something right. And I think for this team to understand that on any given night it could be, different players. And I think, that's the biggest challenge, is to get players to buy into that mentality. Maybe, the last couple nights it's been Schreake, and maybe against Little Rock it's Angie, and then the next night it's, Lanaya, and who knows. But just to not get too caught up in that, and, it's hard. Social media, stats, all that good stuff. But, I think there's a lot of talent in that locker room, and it's just figuring out how to put all the pieces together.
For Angelique and Abbey, when you have the early season results that happened, how much does the team need a night like this? How much do you think this can help you moving forward in the year?
I think we're just focused on what we can do every single day. I mean, we saw those results, we weren't happy about it, so just take that anger and turn it into something positive. But we've been working every single day, shutting that off, because we know our work at the end will show.
And obviously, like, coming into this game, they got us last year, so we wanted to make a statement this year, and so that was definitely motivation for tonight.
Abby, coach talks about buying into your role. You very much turned it as someone who's a weapon on the three-point line, don't stray much away from it. What's it kind of been like to not only just embrace, but to thrive in that role?
I mean, obviously I shot pretty well tonight, but I think, it's just because my teammates found me, and I think just stepping into that role, I'm just thankful that I have good teammates that were sharing the ball tonight. I think we did good. Obviously, a lot of people in double digits, so we did well all around with that. So.
Question for Angie. When it comes to rebounding, this team just continues to get better and better. I believe that it's now consecutive games you've out-rebounded your opponent by double digits. What have you seen just when it comes to being more aggressive on the glass, both offensively and defensively?
I honestly don't think I've been doing the best, so I've been just trying to just get to a point where, like, I'm being more physical but using it wisely and not getting those fouls, but just being strong but being smart about it, but just thinking every rebound's going to be mine every single game. And that's kind of my mindset going in.
Coach, it looked like there was a little thumbs up going Angie's way there. What was that for?
I should have done it down here. Angie's just somebody that's just, she expects a lot of herself, and she has a tendency, if I'm going to be honest, to be a little hard on herself. And I had to remind her tonight, it's been a year since you played, over a year, since you played, and so just to have a little bit more grace for herself. And I'm looking down at her stat line, I'm thinking 13 minutes, 11 points, 7 rebounds, not a bad night out. So happy for her.
Thank
Coach,
you.
Coach, how have you seen your team's defense improve over the last few games, and how is that intensity leading to success?
Yeah, I feel like defensively we've been pretty solid this year. We've had stretches where we didn't execute at the level that we wanted to, but I think, we spent a lot of time in June and July. We felt like that was a big weakness of ours, and, we were able to, recruit some players, I think, that allow us to get out and guard a little bit more aggressively. We added some athleticism, we added some height, we added some depth. And, I think our players have done a tremendous job of really buying into that. And, we've never been a team that's really hung our hat on our defense, but I think they've really bought into that mentality. And I think it can be pretty disruptive and pretty fun when you're, that aggressive with it. We haven't played a lot of zone this year, but I thought they executed. We put in a zone a couple days ago, so they haven't had a lot of reps, and thought they executed it really, really well. And it's just nice to, I guess, add that to, one of the looks that we can throw out there at teams just to keep them on their heels a little bit.
Coach, you mentioned the turnovers. It felt like tonight was a super fast-paced game. Was that more of an offensive thing you guys had planned and you wanted to kind of build it as part of your identity, or was that just kind of a result of all the fast breaks and the turnovers?
Well, I think, I mentioned this before, but, 2 out of our first 3 games were 2 teams that led the country in defense, like the country. We were playing against some pretty good defensive teams that just were really stingy with transition points. And that's something that we really try to do a lot. And so hats off to them. But, I think in addition to that, the amount of turnovers that we're having, they weren't giving us enough possessions. I think we've shot the ball pretty well this year. I think there's another level we can probably take it to. Tonight was a good shooting night, but, we weren't getting enough opportunities. And that's where we really want to play with 13 or less turnovers and understand we want to play fast but not in a hurry and really play with great pace. And when you do that, you get more possessions. When you have more possessions, we have a chance to, we want to shoot it before we turn it over. And I thought they did a good job of that tonight.
Coach, first quarter's been a little bit of a problem this year. This time you come out, set up a double-digit lead at the end of that first quarter. How important are those fast starts, not only when it comes to winning games, but for kind of blowing out teams in a sense?
Yeah, I think the challenge has honestly been that second quarter. The first quarter's been solid. That second quarter is where we've seemed to stub our toe a little bit, and so it was good to see. That was actually our highest efficiency in that second quarter tonight. So that was a little bit of a flip of the switch for us, and we just really wanted to maintain the intensity and the aggressiveness. And I thought our players did a tremendous job of reminding each other of that in the huddles. Even at halftime, I come in and there's a list on the board of things they've talked about, and so it's nice to see them really stepping up and just the communication that's happening from within.
You mentioned just the consecutive games playing a lot. This tonight, no player over 22 minutes. Does getting some of that in-game rest, do you think, help you for this continuous grind? Obviously, game on Friday and then Monday, Tuesday as well.
Yeah, and I don't look at it as a grind. I look at it as an opportunity. So, I think players love playing the game. Coaches love practice. But I think it's really important for a couple of reasons. Yes, just because we do have so many games in a row, but also it allows us to go deeper into a bench and give some other players some opportunities to get some valuable minutes and kind of evaluate what they can do and how do we fit them into the rotation and what does that look like. And, I think that's as important as anything. So I guess it's a win-win for us when we can go that deep.
We'll take one or two more.
Coach, Abbey mentioned it, but losing the SLU last year, coming out this year, was there anything in the locker room going back to last year and giving them a little extra confidence going into the night? Obviously, huge win.
Maybe. We definitely had a conversation about it. That one stung pretty good. We gave up, I think it was 36 points in that fourth quarter, and for some of our players, they weren't here for that. Some of our players, maybe don't understand the depths of an in-state rivalry. But I think, us having the conversation maybe brought, it's in-state games, so record stats go out the window. Everybody wants to be, the in-state winner, and so we definitely had that conversation. And so I think that was motivation, but I do think this team has an uncommon work ethic. They're really competitive. They want it. We're not satisfied with how we've started the season. It kind of stings a little bit. Everyone's a little bit edgy about it, but not in a bad way, in a really good way. And so, I think that was just as big of a part of it as well.
We'll take one more. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys.